How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Clanker Spanker. The Clanker Spanker is a Star Wars podcast that has been created by two Clanker Spankers, the first of the two being myself, Josh, from youtube.com/AidenMandalorianJedi. And the second Clanker Spanker that has created this awesome podcast is...
Andre, as well known as Andre01 on YouTube.
Exactly, and today we have an extremely special guest, and that is none other than the man out in the Australian outback himself. The Force is with Jesse. How are you doing today, Jesse?
Good, thanks, guys. It was great to finally speak with you.
Yeah, definitely, likewise. Really glad to have you on the show. I know we've planned on having you on the show for quite a while now and just getting around to doing so, but nonetheless, I think I speak for Andre as well when I say that it's really glad to have you on the show. So we are going to be asking Jesse a couple of questions, and we're also going to be talking about some other awesome stuff going on in the Star Wars universe. But before we do so, for those of you that aren't familiar with Jesse, you just want to kind of give us a brief synopsis of your YouTube channel, The Force is with Jesse, and you know, just give us a brief synopsis of your YouTube channel and what you do on YouTube.
Let's see, like you guys, just Star Wars figure reviews, basically, and sharing items that are in my collection. That's probably the simplest way to put it, really.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been on there nearly a year, I think. I've been on there for over a year, but I've been making videos for almost a year now, so just knocked up my 100 about a week and a half ago. So that
was a very cool video.
Yeah, it's been a good fun ride. So I'm having an absolute ball doing it.
Yeah,
it's great to catch up with. Oh, well, you guys. It's good to finally be able to speak to you guys almost in person. It's not quite, but yeah, I've made some great friends over YouTube over the last nearly 12 months. And there's some absolutely fantastic people out there, and it's been great getting to know them all. Yeah, and in your response there actually kind of ties into our first question. And I'll go ahead and just kind of jump into the questions that we did arrange for you a couple of months ago. And the first question that Andre and I kind of arranged was, in your first YouTube video, you stated that you had been inspired by many Star Wars YouTubers, such as SithLord229, FlyGuy.net, and Nabil6901. How has your YouTube experience been so far? You kind of touched on that. And has it been as exciting as you anticipated, or did you even anticipate that it would be exciting? No, I didn't have any idea. I'm nearly at 300 subscribers now, and I was thinking, would I ever get 3?
Yeah.
When I first started, but no, I wasn't really anticipating a whole lot. I just thought I'll give it a go and see if we can get some people and to have a watch. And I got in touch with Daniel East 1000 after a couple of weeks, and he was able to help me out a little bit by posting my videos to his Facebook page and got my name out there a little bit. And yeah, so I really have him to thank. So if you're listening, Daniel, thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
No, I wasn't really anticipating a lot. It was just doing it that seemed like a good idea, and yeah, I've had a lot of fun doing it ever since. So.
Yeah, so as a collector, what line has been the most exciting to collect? What line do you like best, Jason?
What line? That's an interesting question, actually. I'm going to go out and say the vintage collection. Obviously, it's the newest. All the figures are just absolutely incredible. There's just been in mass abundance. It's the line that's been out that I can finally be able to afford to be able to keep up with most of it, bar a few figures, but been able to keep up with this one the most back when the 30th anniversary collection and everything was out, and the legacy collection. Didn't really have the money to be able to afford all of it as they came out, so it sort of was a little bit lackluster in the collecting way, but now that I'm making I'm earning decent money, I can actually afford to go out and buy these things as they are released. So I'm going to say the vintage collection. I just think it's the most exciting line. I love the packaging. It's just it's really retro feel to it, and it's just really just screams Star Wars at you.
Back on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Andre?
The vintage packaging, it just screams Star Wars. Nothing else translates to Star Wars better than that. So I definitely hope they keep going.
As do I.
Yeah.
What about you, Andre? What's your favorite line that I'm vintage collection?
Me?
Man after my own heart, Jesse. You said exactly what I would have said.
Do you mean what line do I like?
What's your favorite line? What is your favorite line that you've?
It's definitely the vintage collection. To me, it's like Jesse said, it's exciting. You have the nostalgia of Star Wars. Like when you are watching to the figure on the packaging, you are like, how can I open such a great packaging? You always want to have two, right? Like Jesse, he has the newest reviews from the newest figures that may not be already released, right, Jesse?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, the deleted scene wave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, you've done all of them now, haven't you?
Yes, I have actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as Josh and Jesse has great reviews on that. We will put this on a link below. Maybe you are interested.
Yeah,
but
we'll put a link to Jesse's videos. Those are more worthwhile.
Yeah, but also as well as Josh. Josh, you know that because Jesse and Josh are the great reviewers. You guys may love watch the reviews. So let's end this question.
All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next question. All right, this is a question. I always think this is a fun question just to hear answered by just really anyone. And what has been your favorite figure from the Clone Wars and Vintage Collection?
I want to throw Embo into the mix. I think he's brilliant. I'm sure both of you agree that Embo is just an absolutely fantastic figure all round.
I don't know. We could have a debate. We could have a debate there. I hate Embo's ankles. They frustrate the crap out of him.
The ball sockets. Yeah, they're just a little bit.
You try to pose them, they pop right out. Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like much on Embo, I love the figure. That's don't get me wrong, but he should have ball inch hips, like because he needs that. He's just a great bounty hunter, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. Every figure.
Yeah, he has a few minor flaws, but they are indeed minor.
Yeah,
such as the hat popping off all the time. But
yeah, that's I just put some. Like this booty, you know, this
little blue tack wool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'll
and that's all the head and all that. But to me, it's also from the Clone Wars. Maybe is also the Embo figure.
I think I would have to say it's really tough between the second version of Kit Fisto and.
That's a great one.
I'd probably have to go with that one. Just I absolutely love the character of Kit Fisto in the Clone Wars. Or I'd have to say Obi-Wan in his spacesuit. Those are my two favorite Clone Wars figures. I'd probably go with Kit Fisto if I had to choose between the two. But those are really my favorites. What about Vintage Collection? What is your favorite Vintage Collection figure?
I was actually thinking about this the other day, and since I got the new Luke Skywalker lightsaber construction, I'm going to have to go with him. Although, like I think it was you that said, Josh, in your review of him, the hair being the wrong way. There was actually a couple of scenes in Return of the Jedi where his hair were coming that way. Yeah, there is a couple scenes. Like I stated in my review, the one scene where Luke is presented in holographic form by R2-D2 when he's talking to Jabba, I think it was just, like I said in my review, a matter of Luke's hairstylist being a bit inconsistent. So I don't know why Hasbro chose that particular way to part his hair, but it's technically not inaccurate. But you know, that's hardly a big deal either. But
I know it's ridiculous.
Oh no, that thing has just been so desirable for me ever since I was young. I think I wanted like a Jedi Luke that could do all the stuff he can do with this figure. So this is absolutely probably one of my favorites. So
I think I'd have to go with the new Lando. I just love Lando as a character. He comes with so many accessories. Like, he's such a fun toy. He's just, there's so much you can do with him. It's really crazy, and it's absolutely a great figure. What about you, Andre?
Me, I definitely must agree with Jesse about the Gamorrean Guard, but to me, it's like two on my top best. Like, from the figures that I have the Gamorrean Guard, and to me, it's the Rebel Commando. I really liked him. I found him the second variant, the
African American version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a great figure. Not only that, but the Rebel Commando. To me, it's the Rebel Commando as well as the Gamorrean Guard. On my top, because I don't have those new figures that you guys have. So for now, it's those two. Yeah.
Well, that Rebel Commando is a great figure. All right, so you want to move on to the next question, number 4, Andre. You want to go ahead and read that?
Yeah. So, original trilogy or prequel trilogy? What do you prefer and why?
I'm a saga man. I'll be honest with you. I try not to look at the Star Wars movies as prequels and original trilogies. I feel like they're a saga to me.
Right.
Basically, the reason I grew up watching the original trilogy, probably in my younger days, back when I was 4, 5, 6 years old, and I got to see the original trilogy in theatres when they were re-released as special editions in '97. And then I guess I basically grew up with my childhood imagination revolving around the original trilogy, and then as I grew up into my teenage years, I got to go see the prequels. So all 6 films were all part of my childhood, so they all sort of resonate together with me. So
if you had to pick like one movie though, which one would you go with?
Yeah, that's another good question. My favourite movie is The Empire Strikes Back, but my favourite story is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't really like Revenge of the Jedi as a film, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but they actually they think it's a great story, which I find is kind of interesting, because I thought George told the story fairly well in Revenge of the Sith. So I don't really understand how you think it's a good story but not a good movie. But
yeah, I mean, you read the Revenge of the Sith book, the novelization, and there's a little bit more depth in it, and you really get a feel for Anakin's fall to the dark side. That's a really interesting tale.
That is a very good book. That is a fantastic book.
But definitely Empire's got to be the best movie, in my opinion.
That's interesting. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I personally don't like Empire. I like it. It's a great movie, but I don't like Yoda on Dagobah. He always scared me when I was little. And I do not like Hoth. No, the Tauntauns always kind of creep me out again. The Wampa, he just always looked a bit too fake. He reminded me from that, have you guys seen Rudolph, that little animated Rudolph movie? Not animated, but it's like the original Rudolph movie.
Yeah, I know.
It might just be a US thing, but there's this guy that looks a lot like a Wampa in that, and he's like the snowman or something, and that guy always creeped me out. It was that really old-style animation, like what people now upload to YouTube, like those real choppy animations. It was kind of like that, and it scared the crap out of me. So I never really liked the Wampas, so I was never a big fan of Hoth. And when Luke got his scratches on his eyes to cover up the whole Mark Hamill accident thing, that always, I didn't like the look of him. Yeah, so there was a lot of aspects or elements of Empire that I never really cared for, which kind of threw off all the good stuff, like Bespin and Lando and the epic duel between Vader and Luke. But it's a very good movie, nonetheless.
Yeah, I just think of all the sequels that come out these days, and how many sequels come out these days where the good guys actually lose.
Yeah.
Not many.
I know.
Yet Star Wars pulled that off, and George Lucas has pulled that off very impressively.
That's what's great about it. I love seeing movies like that. It's a lot of fun. Want to go to the next question?
Yeah.
Alright, so question number 5. This is a question that is similar to the question that we asked Julius in a previous episode, but I think it would be good to just get a different perspective. And the question is this: in your videos, Jesse, you have mentioned your parents and your girlfriend purchasing you figures or just kind of buying ones that they knew you wanted. Are they supportive of your hobby?
Well, living with my girlfriend, I wouldn't say she's unsupportive. Yeah. But only because I do tend to overspend a little bit occasionally. But she knows I love it. She knows I'm a big fan of the hobby, so she does occasionally buy me figures if it's a special occasion, like a birthday or an anniversary or Christmas. But it's not very often she'll just pop home with a figure for me just because she thought I'd like it. But
right. But she's not entirely against helping you out when you need it.
No, she's not against the hobby, but she's not entirely with it. She's not a big Star Wars fan like I am, so I'm trying to convert her. It's not quite working, but
that'll probably be a pretty tiresome process.
Yeah, I might have to use some Jedi mind tricks.
Oh, ooh. You gotta capture that on camera.
I haven't entirely been able to convert her just yet, but it's early days. We've only been together for 4 years, so.
Okay.
And as for my parents, Mum's been buying me Star Wars figures since I was 6 or 7 years old when they first came out in the Power of the Force 2 line. So.
Right.
So I've had figures since I was young.
Yeah. Well, going on into our first topic discussion, we're going to talk about something that is relatively a new subject. It was actually a brand new subject back when I first arranged this whole script, if you will, but it's been a couple months since then. But anyway, this first topic discussion is the Star Wars live-action TV show. Rick McCallum, obviously, he stated in a couple, I believe it was IGN interviews, that they were sort of on hold with the project, but there definitely was plans to make a live-action TV show in the future. And I can't remember, did they confirm that it would be named Underworld, Star Wars Underworld, or I don't know. That's a rumored name, title to this show itself. Yeah.
I think it was a working title. I think that was what they're using, like, just as a development thing. Right. Similar to how when they made Return of the Jedi, they used the script. They used it on the script as Blue Harvest, just as to not so much as a cover-up as Return of the Jedi, just as a working title, I think.
Right. And just some Rick McCallum quotes that we did hear him state in that IGN interview. He was asked, are the scripts timeless? And he said, yes, the scripts are timeless, so it doesn't really matter when we make this show. We're not going to ever have to adjust the scripts. So, I guess that's cool. He also said, it's underneath what's going on, the criminals, the gangs, referring to it's not really about the main characters that you are used to seeing in the Clone Wars TV show or in the movies. It's just kind of everything that's going on behind the scenes, if you will. He also said that they need to get down to $5 million a show. They need to be able to produce or just create a show under $5 million, which seems like quite a lot of money. And yeah. So cost per show, their maximum is $5 million. They would like to get it down to 4, I think he said, but that is ideal, and currently the technology that they need, they can't even come close to that, so that is unfortunate. But that gives us something to look forward to. He also, in continuing on with what I just said, he said we're going to hold off, we'll wait, see if there are any major breakthroughs, talking about technology breakthroughs in the next year or two. He also said if you're not getting 15 to 20 million views a week, there's no patience by the network, talking about the network versus cable. Cable is much more forgiving. So he's saying they need a lot of views to really just keep up a stable show. Obviously, they need to be able to create a show that's not going to get dissed within the first couple shows, because that really wouldn't go down well in Star Wars history if they were kind of booted during a show. That would be pretty bad. The first kind of topic within this first topic discussion is, would we even like to see a live-action Star Wars TV show? Or would we just prefer, if they don't make a show, leaving the charm of the unknown? What do you guys think? Would you like to see a live-action TV show, or would you prefer just having your own kind of show, or kind of having your own story in your imagination?
To me, it's like, I don't care very much, because I always enjoy watching everything from Star Wars, but I'm not sure, like, if it comes out, maybe I will watch, but to me it's like, I really would like to, but it's not such a thing that I really wish to watch, but
yeah.
It's okay to me. And you, Jesse?
I'd like to see a live action show, don't get me wrong, I think it would be amazing. They've just got to do it right. Personally, give me 3 more movies.
Yeah, I am completely with you there.
Yeah, give me 3 more movies any day, but I will settle for a TV show if it's done properly.
Yeah.
Definitely, I've completely lost my train of thought here. But
the thing, I don't really just want it to turn into something that's not Star Wars. Like, I think it'd be kind of weird if there's just all these new aliens and we don't There's just something charming about Star Wars and the characters that have already been laid on the table. We already know. It's just, I don't really want it to turn into a whole nother universe.
Yeah.
And I feel like that
being
could be the case.
Organised crime in the underworld, I don't want to sit here feeling like I'm watching an episode of CSI or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
CSI Coruscant.
Yeah, I would like to see a couple more movies. And in technology, in a couple years, who knows? They might be able to replicate Harrison Ford and Luke Skywalker, or Mark Hamill, with their exact looks and their exact voices as they would have looked if, after Return of the Jedi. Who knows? That would be really cool. But,
Josh, what do you think if, is Episode 1 Phantom Menace? But do you think that George Lucas should make a film before, no better, like who the Sith, where the Sith come from? We already know that, but like a film explaining that, like from where came the Jedi, like who started everything,
That might be a good idea, but the bottom line is there's so much, or just so many books out there that explain all of that already. I think it would be really hard to create an original story. Maybe they'd make a movie or something, or based off of the books. But I think...
I just want to...
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'll just bring up, I've just almost finished reading Darth Plagueis.
Are you? Go ahead.
This could be a trilogy in itself.
Yeah.
Really, it could.
I've only read the first 3 chapters. I'm getting there, but...
Yeah, I won't spoil anything then, but this could easily be another trilogy or even a duology, but...
Yeah,
which I'd love to see, because this is an incredible story.
And it's been extremely exciting, so...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Number 2 here, do we think the live-action TV show will tie into The Force Unleashed? Because obviously this live-action TV show will take place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, for those of you that don't know.
I don't think it will, but I'm a big Force Unleashed fan, so I would love to see that. And, I mean, we all know that Sam Witwer would jump in a heartbeat to play Starkiller in a live-action role.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, he's just an incredible actor, incredible voice talent, and they'd be able to pull it off easily. Yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to a bit more of him tonight with the Clone Wars finale, which will be on in the US.
It's awesome.
I'm looking forward to acquiring that episode.
Oh, yeah. Alright, the next question is, what character would you like to see featured in the show? Is there any character you'd like to see, or would you like all new characters?
In the live-action show?
Yeah. In between 3 and, obviously, Episode 4.
I'm thinking Elan Sleazebagano, the Death Stick guy.
Yeah. He is really funny. He's been featured in a couple of Star Wars books. And, he's not the brightest guy, but he is pretty funny.
The actor that played him is actually going to be at Oz Comic Con in about 2 weeks.
Really?
So, hopefully, you'll be able to get a signature from him. Yeah, Matt Doran, he's an Aussie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's funny. So,
I guess the choices are endless.
Yeah, I think it would be cool, maybe a bit of Boba Fett. I don't know. It would be really, Boba Fett would probably be the character I would really like to see, but the character I'd most like to see is Mace Windu. And I know everyone's saying Mace Windu died, but to be honest, he got his hand cut off, and he went flying out into Coruscant airspace. A Jedi of his skill grab onto a vehicle and survive. But
land in the backseat of a taxi.
I mean, come on. It's like, like the good guys have always had a lot of luck. The bad guys, like stormtroopers, can't hit a dang thing, and the Jedi and the good guys, the rebels, have always had a lot of luck. So I definitely think that's a definite possibility. That would be really cool. I'd love to see that. But then again, Samuel L. Jackson he's just not replaceable. So
I make these questions all the time, Jesse. Would you like to see the Revenge of the Sith on the Clone Wars version, like the whole movie?
Like events surrounding Revenge of the Sith in the Clone Wars animated style.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about that, mainly on other podcasts like the Forcecast. They've talked about whether the Clone Wars is going to go over the Revenge of the Sith and go to the like the Jedi Purge and Order 66 and stuff. I think that would be a cool way to end the Clone Wars, but...
Yeah. I think it would be really cool if they just did like Revenge of the Sith in an animated style.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that could be interesting. That could be, you know, that could be pretty cool just to see. That'd be a lot of work though, just for the same exact story. But that could be.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that definitely would be. In the Clone Wars, there's this new preview that was up that I saw on the internet. It was like, will Darth Maul kill Obi-Wan Kenobi? They were talking about the season finale, and I was like, are you serious? Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you guys think Obi-Wan's gonna die tonight?
I'm not sure.
Maybe he'll die, he'll come back to life.
Maybe yes. I'm not sure. Maybe the ghost of him will come up on episode 4.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. Alright, so another topic here. We're going to be talk about some of the new Star Wars action figure waves. The first Vintage Collection wave, that's going to be coming out in April. I believe it's April. It may be May. I'm not exactly sure. I believe officially supposed to be April. And that is the wave that consists of Nominor, Aayla Secura, and the 501st Clone Trooper. And what do you guys think of this wave? What figures are you going to pick up? Which ones aren't you going to pick up?
I'll probably get them all. They've released the card backs yesterday, I think, on JediDefender.com. All the new ones coming out in the next 2 waves for this year. They've released all the carded images with like Cathaba and Clone Wars, realistic Clone Wars, Anakin Skywalker, and yeah, there's a couple of others, but
yeah. Those card backs look really, really cool. I like the look of Nominor's card back. That looks pretty sweet. Andre, which ones are you gonna pick up?
I didn't watch that card backs, but I maybe you guys were like maybe you, Jesse, because I figure that I really want is the Super Battle Droid. I think is a great looking figure. Okay, it's a repaint, but it's like you can put like a use to your heavy and the other one.
Right.
Training gear.
Yeah, he's talking about the new Clone Wars Super Battle Droid that's coming out, one of the new Clone Wars waves. Yeah. Also going to talk about that. The new Clone Wars wave that's supposed to be coming out, I think in April here. It consists of the new Obi-Wan figure, Clone Wars boss, the Republic Commando, Phase 2 Captain Rex, Aayla Secura from 2009, a Phase 2 Commander Wolf, I believe that one won't be till May, Scuba Ahsoka, which I believe won't be till May, and the repainted training Super Battle Droid. So that looks like a pretty cool wave as well.
Yeah, there's a few nice figures in there. I'm kind of going off the Clone Wars figures a little bit, only because it's going to be a short year for figures, because they've only got, 19 new figures?
I believe it's something like that, yeah. It's quite pathetic.
Just they seem to be taking a step backwards with a lot of the figures.
Yeah, it definitely seems that the Clone Wars is scaling back, which is definitely unfortunate. But I'm actually not too concerned about that, simply because Hasbro has made it clear that they're really going to be focusing, or the Vintage Collection is going to be focused on like collectors. They're going to be trying to make collectors happy, pretty much. So if that means we're getting more realistic representations of the characters from the Vintage Collection as compared to Clone Wars, I'm not going to complain. But it is a shame to see the Clone Wars start to really just die down right when it's at its peak. Right now, it's releasing the best figures that it's ever has, in my opinion. And to see it just kind of start to downscale is a bit unfortunate, but less money, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah. Do you think with these realistic adaptations that we're getting in the Vintage Collection of the Clone Wars characters such as Anakin, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, do you think eventually as the Clone Wars series comes to an end they'll start to merge these characters into a realistic line and we'll see a lot more of them over the years, such as Cat Bane and all that, in more of a realistic sense as opposed to a separate Clone Wars line? Do you think they'll merge them? I
definitely hope so. I think that would be great for Hasbro, because I think they'll be very popular figures whenever they kind of make those expanded universe type things. They're always extremely popular, so I think it'll be a good move for them. I think it'll be really interesting. Characters such as Cad Bane, like other characters would be really cool to get, such as O.C. Sobek or whatever his name was from Season 3. Like, some of those villains, that would be really cool.
And Embo.
I would love to get some clone troopers. And I know you're not, Jesse, not a huge fan of clones, but I would love to get some realistic, like some of these new Vintage Collection clones that are coming out are absolutely magnificent. And I think it would be cool to get some Clone Wars realistic clone trooper figures. I think that could be pretty cool. Get some sick paint apps and Cad Bane. That would be one heck of a figure. That would be absolutely outstanding.
What figures do you guys like most? Like Josh, I know that you like really the clones, and you, Jesse?
I like aliens. I'm trying to get all the Cantina aliens at the moment, and some Jabba's Palace figures. I just love all the aliens. I think they're awesome. Yeah. There's so much variety. It just really makes your collection a lot more diverse, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Instead of having countless numbers of clones with all the same face and.
Yeah. Which is cool because I mean I like looking at all the army builders. Like we all know Sith Lord 229's collection is absolutely enormous, and all his clones, and guys like Supreme Obliterator who have just these massive forces of stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers, exactly. And great is the dioramas also.
Yeah. That is definitely pretty crazy. In terms of the Vintage Collection wave, kind of going back to that, Andre, which figures are you picking up? Nominor, Aayla Secura, 501st Clone? You gonna pick them all up, or?
I'm not sure. That's the thing that maybe I will. When I watch the review, maybe I can say so, because for now I'm not much time. I am not on YouTube lately, so I don't know much about those figures. But maybe when I start watching reviews and all that, I will. But I'm not sure. What figures do can you repeat again the names?
We have Nominor, which is the skeleton guy. He's kind of the expanded universe guy. Aayla Secura, blue girl from Revenge of the Sith. 501st, and then the 501st Clone Trooper.
To me, okay. So let's see. Aayla Secura, definitely. I really want that one. The Clone Trooper 501st. That's a figure that I want to see a review. I know that there's not much thing to this figure, but I want to see the articulation and maybe the face sculpt on also that, and the known Anor, that's all. The card back is awesome. To me, is great as well as the Aayla Secura, but non-Anor is maybe I won't pick it up because. What do you mean?
He reminds me of an orc from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like I have the newest Clone Wars Cad Bane figure, and the first thing I thought when I opened them up was like, he just reminds me of an orc. There's something about his head sculpt that just is very vicious, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's cool. It's interesting. It's very unique. I think it's kind of ironic, not even ironic, but it's kind of frustrating that Hasbro is releasing the Vintage Collection Aayla Secura at the same time they're re-releasing the Clone Wars Aayla Secura.
They want to make money. That's
all. But if they were smart, they wouldn't be releasing them at the same time. Because now I'm not buying both Aayla Securas. I'm gonna buy whichever one I see first, because I really don't care about the character. And in terms of the figure, I think actually I might want to go with the Clone Wars one, because she comes with a bit more accessories, and I like the way she looks in the Clone Wars. But if I buy her, no way I'm buying the Vintage Collection one. I don't need two Aayla Securas within a month's time. So I think they should have waited. Probably
separate the waves a little bit.
Yeah, and they're repacking the other Aayla, but she was an extremely rare figure back in 2009, so I don't think a lot.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I'm excited to finally get her, because she's one of 3 Jedi I need for my Clone Wars collection. So. Yeah,
she was an extremely rare figure.
I would like to have her, because I don't have her, and the only Jedi female that I have is Shakti from the Geonosis Arena Showdown 2 sets. You know, she's awesome, but I would like to have Aayla Secura, maybe from the Revenge of the Sith or the Clone Wars. I don't care much, but the first Aayla Secura that I see, I will pick it up. So
right.
That's important to me, nothing else. So yeah.
What about some rumored Clone Wars figures? Rumored, mind you, the ghosts of Mortis, of Darth Raven, Raven, and Darth Bane. They were, I don't know, I can't remember if they made the final cut of that episode, the Ghost of Mortis episode, or if they were just in a deleted scene, I'm not sure. But would you guys like to see Clone Wars representations of those characters?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary, to be honest. I think there's just so much more content in the Clone Wars that they can turn into figures, such as there's so many of the villains, and they've had tons of characters that they need to put into figure form before they start doing figures based on previous work.
And about Admiral Tesh,
Admiral Trench. Yeah, he's another rumored Clone Wars figure.
I would love to have him as a figure.
He was seen in the Cat and Mouse episode, which was one of my favorite Clone Wars episodes. I thought that was a great episode.
Really Clone Wars type, like really strategy and all that. Really cool, indeed.
That was a fantastic episode, and I remember when that episode came out, like all the stealth Operation Clone Troopers with their earmuffs on. That was really cool, seeing those characters and stuff. And we have a lot of those Stealth Ops clones, and if we have an Admiral Trench to go with them or to oppose them, that would be definitely pretty cool. There is a petition currently circling to get this particular Admiral Trench figure made, but Hasbro has not commented on if the figure is going to be made. So, I don't know. If there's a petition circling, you would think they would be inclined to make it, but who knows?
Possibly.
What about, if you guys remember from in the Clone Wars episode Friend in Need, that was a Season 4 episode. It was sort of the return of Death Watch, if you will. Bo-Katan, she was the female Mandalorian seen in that episode. Would you guys like to see a figure of her?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm a huge Mandalorian fan, as you can probably tell from my username. So I would definitely love to see a female Mandalorian. I know they've made a couple in the past, but I haven't had the opportunity to obtain those figures, so I think it would be pretty cool.
But Josh, do you like without removing helmet or with?
I would like to see no removable helmet, because I don't think we see her head in the show. The Old Republic video game. There is a Trilogy. As you can see also a Mandalorian soldier that's also a female. They could maybe use that face. What do you think? That could be possible. However, this is a Clone Wars figure, right?
Yeah, but maybe they can use that. I'm not sure. I would like to also have without the helmet, because we never saw her face. So.
Yeah, personally, cool. I don't know if I would like that. My favorite Clone Wars figures are the figures that really look animated. Like, I don't like the figures that are kind of a mix of realisticness and animated. I either like it to be completely realistic or completely animated. I don't like the in-between stuff. So, yeah, I wouldn't really like to see that head sculpt on the figure, but, you know, that's a good idea. For sure.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. That's true.
So I think that's about it that we had to talk about today. Before we wrap things up, though, we do want to go over one quick thing, and that is that this podcast can now be listened to on theclankerspankers.posterous.com. The link will be down in the description box below. We're not completely transitioning over to that site. We're going to continue to upload our videos on YouTube, and we're also going to be uploading them on posterous.com. So whichever you prefer, you know, you can, go to whichever suits your needs the best. And yeah, so that's something we're looking into. We really like to get our own official website, but Posterous will have to do for now. But anyway, anything else we want to say before we wrap things up, guys?
Not a lot. Just thanks a lot for having me on, guys. I know it's been a long time in the making, trying to get us all three together. Obviously being from different corners of the globe.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's great to finally sit down and have a chat with you guys. And
it's been a lot.
Excellent. I had a lot of fun. So
absolutely. Andre, anything you want to say?
to me it's awesome because Jesse, I'm a big fan of you. Unfortunately, I can't watch all of your videos, as you maybe noticed, but that's not the point right now, because that's an honor to me to talk to you as well as to Josh, because I'm from Germany, but from Australia, Jesse, and Josh is from America, and we are from such a far away country, land, and that's great too, and this podcast is more like to talk with friends and communicating with others. So I think this
interaction.
It's perfect. So
it really
thank you very much, Jesse.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
It's great to having you here.
And hopefully we'll have you on again sometime in the future.
Definitely, I'd love to come on again.
Yep. So guys, until next time, as always, like Andre said, thank you for watching.
And may the Force be with you.